Something is shifting beneath the surface of Britain's cities. It's not in the headlines, it's not on the front page. But you can feel it in the packed buses, the crowded classrooms, the never-ending GP waiting lists, and the growing tension in everyday life. In just the past year, over 1.2 million immigrants arrived in the UK, a number higher than ever before. And while immigration brings energy, culture, and growth, there's another side to the story. A side no one wants to talk about. Certain cities are now stretched so thin, locals are being squeezed out of their own neighborhoods. It's no longer just about numbers. It's about pressure on homes, on services, on daily life. In this countdown, we reveal 10 UK cities now, overwhelmed by immigration in 2025. What's changed? And how bad has it really become? Number 10, Sheffield, a city once known for its steel and student population, is now bearing a different kind of weight. In the past 3 years, Sheffield's population has jumped by nearly 7%, driven largely by new arrivals. That may not sound massive at first, but in a compact city like Sheffield, the cracks are already showing. Rents in certain neighborhoods have exploded by over 30%. Long-time residents and students are getting priced out, pushed to the edges, or crammed into overcrowded housing. Buses are jammed. Traffic is worse than ever. Local doctors report wait times have doubled. Schools bursting at capacity. Sheffield still holds on to its reputation for being warm and welcoming, but resources are running dry. Emergency housing is at its limits, and social services are sounding the alarm. What's unfolding here is a quiet transformation, one that's outpacing the city's ability to cope. Number 9, Leicester. Leicester has always been one of the UK's most diverse cities, but now that diversity is colliding with serious infrastructure strain. In 2025, Leicester's housing market is in crisis. Multiple families sharing single flats is becoming common. Community centres are overwhelmed. Local councils are pleading for extra funds just to keep services running. And as more people arrive, the job market is becoming saturated, leading to growing competition and frustration. Even basic things like getting a dentist appointment can now take months. Tensions are rising in once peaceful areas, and while the city spirit remains strong, the system that supports it is starting to falter. Number 8, Glasgow. Glasgow wasn't expected to make this list, but here it is. Why? Because over the last 2 years, immigration to Scotland has increased sharply, and Glasgow is absorbing a disproportionate amount. Council flats are full, temporary accommodation is overflowing, and in parts of the city, locals are voicing concern over vanishing opportunities. Schools have added portable classrooms just to manage the influx. Some areas are so crowded now that public parks and libraries feel more like train stations during rush hour. Glasgow still celebrates its multicultural identity, but 2025 is testing just how far that pride can stretch when systems are collapsing. Number 7, Birmingham. The second largest city in the UK is feeling more like the most overwhelmed. Birmingham's challenges with immigration aren't new, but they've exploded in 2025. With housing demand at an all-time high, entire families are on waiting lists for years. New arrivals are taking shelter wherever they can, some even in converted office blocks. NHS services are buckling, especially in East Birmingham, where surgeries are cancelling appointments just to survive. And while the city is no stranger to change, the speed of this population surge has shocked even the most seasoned councillors. Local businesses are growing frustrated. Schools are hiring temporary teachers en masse. The pace of change is outrunning the city's ability to adapt. Number 6, Slough. Small, often overlooked, and now completely overwhelmed, Slough is at a tipping point. Its location near London makes it a hotspot for those seeking jobs and cheaper housing. But now, even Slough isn't cheap anymore. Rents have soared, and temporary housing is filling up fast. In some areas, nearly 1 in 3 residents are recent arrivals. Local authorities are struggling to maintain basic services. Bin collections have slowed, community policing is stretched, and transport? Chaos. With trains and buses overloaded, residents complain of feeling squeezed out of their own town. Slough's infrastructure was never built for this kind of pressure, and now the cracks are becoming impossible to ignore. Number 5. Luton has long been one of the most ethnically diverse towns in the UK. But in 2025, it's now on the edge of a breaking point. With its close links to London and relatively affordable housing, at least until recently, Luton has seen a surge in newcomers in the past 2 years. The result? Sky-high rents, overcrowded housing, and services stretched to their limits. Many schools are running double shifts. Local clinics are overwhelmed. Some residents now drive over an hour just to see a GP. Streets that were once calm now buzz with foot traffic, double-parked cars, and a constant sense of tension. The sense of community is still there, but it's under pressure like never before. Number 4. Manchester. A city that once proudly welcomed change is now being swallowed by it. Manchester has always been a magnet for both domestic and international migration. But in 2025, it's no longer about growth, it's about survival. The city centre is packed, and even surrounding boroughs are seeing record-level demand for housing. Local reports show that emergency shelters are full every night, and social workers are warning of a housing catastrophe. Public transport is overcrowded, roads are jammed, and residents are growing frustrated at the pace of it all. Manchester still stands strong as a cultural and economic hub, but behind the shiny developments and trendy cafes, a different story is unfolding. One of exhaustion, saturation, and cities that can no longer keep up. Number 3. Bradford. Bradford has always carried a unique cultural identity, but in 2025, it's also carrying more people than ever before. Over the last 18 months, it's become one of the top destinations for incoming migrants, many of whom are seeking affordable living after being priced out of larger cities. But affordable is vanishing fast. Local landlords are overwhelmed, and the rise of illegal subletting is a growing concern. Schools have no space. Clinics are running short-staffed. And the local council? Drowning in requests for housing, benefits, and emergency aid. What's particularly concerning in Bradford is how quickly change has come. It's not gradual, it's instant. One year the street is calm, the next, it's unrecognizable. Number 2. Croydon, technically part of Greater London, but with its own storm brewing. Croydon is a prime example of what happens when immigration outpaces planning. Once seen as an affordable option for those fleeing central London rents, Croydon is now just as expensive and far more chaotic. Multiple schools have been forced to expand into neighboring buildings. A&E departments are flooded with patients. Bus services are delayed not just by traffic, but by sheer human volume. Local families are finding it nearly impossible to secure council housing. And while Croydon has always been diverse, that diversity is now clashing with scarcity of homes, of jobs, of breathing space. The borough is growing fast, too fast. Number 1. London. No surprise here. The UK's capital is under the most extreme pressure it has ever faced. London has always been a city of movement, people coming, going, building new lives. But 2025 marks a turning point. Over 500,000 migrants have arrived in London over the past year alone. And while the city has infrastructure that outclasses anywhere else in the UK, even it has limits. Entire boroughs are bursting, families are living in hostels for months, schools are running out of staff. The Tube, beyond packed, Londoners report. Feeling invisible in their own neighbourhoods, swallowed by a city that simply can't slow down. And while politicians debate, the people on the ground are already living the consequences. A city full of ambition, culture, and energy now fighting to stay functional. Closing statement. So, what's really changing in the UK's cities in 2025? The answer isn't just population, it's pressure. The cities on this list aren't just growing, they're being overwhelmed. Immigration is reshaping the map faster than planning departments can keep up. And while immigration brings undeniable value, ignoring its real-time effects is a mistake we're already paying for. Streets are more crowded, services are slower. Tempers are shorter, these cities are sounding the alarm. The question is, who's listening?